Hello, Twitch. How dost thou this fine day? Better than my technology issues, I hope. So I'm hoping I can get everything working here today. But I'm gonna do a quick little hello and sound check from everybody. So why don't we do this? Hey, uh, guys, just say hello. I could see all your voices if it all
Hello,
works.
hello.
There's one.
Hi
Hello.
Twitch, hi Twitch.
Oh, good. It is working. It's just that the scales for sound thingy isn't working. I
Hello.
get it. I get it. I now know what's going on. Um,
Clue me in sometime. I haven't got an idea of what's going on.
well, the problem I've got going on right now is I had to roll back my OBS and it didn't take all of my um, filters, and so none of our tokens are jumping in size. So VO is here, and I'm not going to mess with the system today while this is happening. But VO is here. Unfortunately, Hot and Uck are not. Wow, you guys all went with like these nice little short names, and then there's Peleus Nihilo. Anyway,
Go off.
It was in the book.
and it was, I guess, yeah, you roll for the name, you're gonna get it. Welcome back. We're playing our Roll for Wishes campaign called To Be a Beastkeeper, and this is our. We're like 2 weeks away from the end of this campaign, so we're looking to see if we can get ourselves to 250 by the end of it. We're at 152 out of $250 towards our which is our goal this time around, and looking to see if we can get some more people to contribute to the Make a Wish International Organization. Huzzah! Right there is the link for you to do so in the chat. So yeah, that's where we are. We're playing a game that was actually created for the Roll for Wishes, or for the Make a Wish International group, to be a Beastkeeper, and the party has gone quite a ways in so far. They've now, basically, they were tasked to try and capture some mythical creatures, namely a griffin, which was the first creature they got, a kraken, which they used a particularly intelligent use of a barrel to get them to where they were supposed to go, and a dragon, and they have two more left. They're in the process right now of trying to capture a sphinx. Sorry, not a sphinx, a phoenix. Sorry, wow, a phoenix. And then following that, there's still one more creature that they need to try and chase down, but that's where we're at right now, is going for a phoenix. And so where they went was to this place called Clafton Tower, which used to be a wizard's hold of some sort, long since abandoned. It's like the only spire in the area, and so it's like this stick out of grass. There's one tree, except obviously a tower. And what's interesting about it is when they arrived, it kind of had this dimensional change as they approached. It looked bigger on the inside than it was on the outside, and as they approached it, it looked about bigger on the outside than it was on the inside, and strange spatial flux that happened with it. Once they got inside, they started investigating a number of things, including on the second level, a library that they had found, where the books seemed to have been had some sort of protection spell placed on them on the shelves. But they were obviously already being torn through by somebody much longer ago than now. Nonetheless, they must have triggered something, because they were attacked by a whole bunch of automatons that did a little bit of damage, but with two barbarians in the group and a couple of spellcasters, they didn't have too many challenges with it. Shout out hello there to Leilar in the chat. Good to see you. Let's see if you can roll so wonderfully for the player support again when we get playing here today. And for those of you who are not familiar in the chat about how this works, we sometimes get the players to roll for us because, well, it's more interesting that way. So watch out for those roll calls when they come, because they will. Here we go. Let's dive. We may as well just kind of dive straight into this then. So let's pull up my lovely little map here. But where you guys left off, you had just finished dealing with these automatons. Let's see here. Are you going to work for me this time? Yes, you are. Marvelous. I love it when the maps work.
Why is the bot giving her right away timeouts? Like everything she says gets deleted by stream elements.
Oh,
That happened last week to her as well.
I think I've seen another session happen to it, of him or her as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
it happened last
Layla.
week with one of the last things she said. It wiped everything out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get into Stream Elements and maybe tell it to calm its jets because that's happened a lot. And so, Leolar, you tell me what you're saying. Kind of give me an idea as to what it is you think that's doing it, and I'll reassess. And I'll get into Stream Elements and we'll deal with it because that's not fair. I like having people chat. Okay, so with that, we have our various characters in here. One of them was attacking. Oh, that is a reckless attack I see in there. So that's why I've just got stuff on there. Oh my goodness, that was really loud in the ears, Raven.
Somebody's.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. All right.
Have you got Darth Vader in there with you?
There was a Darth Vader. Okay. So
Somebody's
you
vaping.
All right. So you guys have this floor to yourselves, but there's also more stairs that go even further up, and you're pretty certain there's going to be at least a few more floors here, or a couple more floors for you guys to investigate. But I mean, if you're still interested in trying to find a book, once again, I mean, you could risk it. The books have already caused you some challenge as it is, but you could risk it.
I was not there when you went on the mission. What did they tell us about the tower and the Phoenix?
They told you, for the most part, about the Phoenix, that there was reports that it might be a Phoenix. You guys have kind of just determined based off of the description that it probably was indeed a Phoenix, but that it's been there for a long time. And nobody seems to have been able to get past the wizard's wards before you guys. And so anybody who's tried to get anything out of this place, not been very successful. But you've proven yourselves worthy, having, captured a kraken and a dragon.
And
Got rid of those extremists.
got rid of those machines as well.
That's right. So the
That's
machines are... And actually, it looks to you like the machines might have been one of the biggest wards that this thing may have had that most other people would not have been able to contend with.
And those animatrons, when I investigate them, what do I discover?
All right, so go ahead and roll for me an investigation check. Let's get our first roll going for the game. Let's
14.
13.
14, sorry.
14, sorry, I'm deaf. That's good. No, 13 was the disadvantage roll. That's fine. So on these particular creatures, there is not much left to them aside from the various implements that they had on their body. So they had various rods that kind of stuck out at different spots that you could see. You could easily detach and create a metallic spear or even javelin out of if you wanted to have such a weapon. And a couple of them have long curved blade-like things that are kind of that kind of attach to their arms, that when you click on a switch with a 14, you click on a switch and it just kind of shoots out, so that the creature could have grabbed it and used it as a scimitar type weapon.
Peleus, who do you think made these creatures? Were they just to be a booby trap, or are they like a machine kind of some sort?
I'm not sure. Can I make a check for that? See if I
Sure.
do know anything.
Yeah, if you want. I mean, you could go for an Arcana check.
I think glasses on.
DM, does my magic awareness wear off by this time?
Probably yes. Your magical awareness at this point is really only pinged off of mostly the books, and these are actually all of these automatic creatures would have had some magic pinging off of them, but they are no longer. Now that you've dispatched them, there's no more magic coming off of them.
I got an 11
Okay.
With an 11,
with an Arcana.
it's interesting because looking at them, you can see that there's a couple of runes built on kind of one of the creatures or one of these automatons that either Uck or Hot had actually slashed through. You could actually peel a little bit of metal away to look as what was on the inside, and you can see a couple of runes etched on what appears to have been something akin to a spinal column on these things. And these runes are they most of them have either been sundered by your various attacks, or do not appears as though it's missing something now, and so is no longer conjuring magic.
Do I see any signs that a bird or like a phoenix has been nesting around here or flying around?
Not on this, not on this floor, at this point.
I think maybe we need to go more up in this tower. Let's get a few stories higher and see if we can find this phoenix.
Okay,
These creatures seem to be
Dia
magical.
replies.
What was that?
Sorry, typing. So he says ready to go upstairs. So the stairs are the ones on the left that go up. But you guys
And
can
Hut?
easily make your way. And so Hot's coming with you. You guys are all going upstairs then?
Me and Hut are. I don't know if the rest are following.
Fair enough. All right, so let's get you guys up to that next level.
Yeah, I'm going upstairs.
All right, let's pull Peleus up there with you then too. I'm going to say Ak would probably go.
Wait, I thought left. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, it was left. I'm going to put you guys there. I'm just putting all the tokens together so it's easier for me to grab. Okay, there you go. You're going up the
There you
stairs.
go. I forgot that's the downstairs.
Magical forces are in play here.
Just like just a storeroom.
Oh,
Alright.
this is a tower for a wizard. For a phoenix. Or wizard, rather.
All right, what happened here? Where is my stuff? There it is. Open machine. Thank you. All right. Technology is a wonderful thing. I promise you it is. Hang on. Let's see here. Right. Okay. Cool. And where's my information for it? Okay. Fair enough. All right. Oh no, it is on the right-hand side. What the heck? Fine. You guys went up the correct side. Here they are. Okay. Cheapers.
Magic.
Magic. And so as you guys get up to this top, to this next level, what you hear... Oh! What is...
It's fast this time. Finally.
Wow, that was much faster this time. Thank you to
Like-
Sky for providing a
like 2
sub
seconds.
to Leolar. Appreciate it. Love it.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, wow, that came at me there. Okay, so what you see is inside this level is a circular workshop. Why is that not showing? Let's
I'll show.
come on. It's not showing on the stream. It's showing my login screen.
Oh, you mean the
The
map?
map. Yeah. There, fine. I'll do it this way because that other button wasn't working. There. I should be able to... This says... There we go. That'll work. There we go. Here it comes. Jeepers. Okay, so... what you guys see on here on this level is this large circular... well, I mean, the whole place is a circle. It's a tower, but... this large workshop that seems to have all sorts of arcane implements on it. So you can see necklaces and gemstones gathered on one table. And they are very, very very specifically sorted out on the table as well into different colors. You also see a large carpet or rug, circular rug in the middle of the room that almost appears as though it's like an arcane sigil's been woven into it, except a little maybe a little bit more too elementary to actually be operable. Mostly for almost it feels like it's for design purposes than anything. Aesthetics. There's another table that has a whole bunch of books laid out, and then another one with this metallic contraption. There are some. There's supposed to be light in here, so I'm just going to do this to make sure that there is light in here. But there is.
Go on.
There we go. there is in this space also torches that seem to be giving off this soft yellow glow that permeates the entire space as well. Candles
Nobody's home?
and incense on other tables, and all sorts of wizardly implements.
And seeing from the last stair, this is the top level.
This is not. Well, there's no stairs going up anyway.
That's what I mean. Yeah. And there's nobody home.
Oh, hang tight. Okay, yeah, no, I'm gonna have some fun with that. I'm retconning a few things in the module, so I'm creating things now. Okay, so, what was your question, Sky Guy?
Nobody's home.
Doesn't appear to have anything here.
Okay. I will put
it does
my.
feel-
Yeah,
It does feel like it's a little short, though, from what you saw outside. Like this spire reached quite high up into the sky. You would kind of expected there to be more stairs.
How high is the ceiling above us?
It's about 15 feet up. This is a little bit of a taller ceiling,
no,
but
no hatches.
go ahead and roll a perception check.
Perception 7.
7. Nothing. Looking at the roof, it doesn't appear as though they're like the. It definitely is not a conical roof, but that it's just a flat ceiling across your heads, and it's made of wood. But that's about it. There's nothing for hatches in here.
Hey guys, spread out. Look for clues. As
Okay.
I walk to the first table.
DM, while we're
Yes.
looking for clues, I would like to activate my last magical awareness of the day,
Okay.
just to get a magical feeling on the room.
And I'm going to ask for you to repost your magical awareness thing just to make sure I'm not missing a piece. There it is. Oh, it's basically just like detect magic, isn't it? That's
In a way,
marvelous.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what you see is actually what you see is about kind of it towards or just above this one table over here. Looking towards the ceiling, there seems to be this illusionary magic that is flush with the ceiling, just directly above that table.
Can
Are
I
you
try throwing a javelin at it?
Sure. Go ahead and roll your attack. And Sky Guy, looking at the table that you're looking at the table that you're looking at, there's a whole variety of gemstones here. Some of them look like kind of simple. None of them are polished or finely cut. They're all kind of raw gemstones.
Do you recognize any of the gemstones?
You could go for a stone cunning check or a basic history check if you wanted to. Vio, you take your javelin, you look up to this strange illusionary magic, and you chuck your javelin up into it, and it goes through the floorboards. And you hear it
passes
clack against
through.
the wall. Yeah, passes right through. No contact, just goes right through, disappears beyond the floorboards. You hear a clack, and then it drops back down through the floorboards, back towards the ground, behind that table.
Huh.
Can I make a strange suggestion?
I shout to the. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Carry on. Carry on, Robin.
Well, Vio would like to relay that info
Okay.
to everyone and shows it again by throwing the javelin upwards again.
All
Did you
right.
find the elevator?
And Peleus, what were you going to try and do?
No, just you said a history check, but for gemstones, would it be nature? Do you think, like geology?
I could go with nature if you would rather, but I see a nice hot 17 roll there. So with that, you're going to see you're going to recognize some of them as kind of like some of them are just simple obsidian glass. It's not which it has. It's has some of its own, aesthetic value, but doesn't really have much more than that unless you know how to enchant them or create something out of them. You see some amber, you see some something here that looks akin to diamond, but is kind of like a cloudy diamond. So nothing particular. The most expensive one that you see here seems to be some sort of a you would recognize this with a 17 as kind of a blue zirconia gem that has a little bit more value to it.
Anything that could function as an arcane focus?
Many of these can function as an arcane focus, especially the zirconia.
Yeah. And I'm of course focusing super on the map. I see a book on the table, but that book's not there.
Oh no, there's a book on that table. You're right. Hang on, let me read that. Oh yeah, opening up the book and kind of reading through. It's in Elvish. Do you speak Elvish?
I don't think so. Hang on. No.
No. Okay, so it is in this very ornate cursive script that, and a couple of the pages seems
There's
to have
a-
some sort of arcane sigils on it too.
There's a book here. I can't read it. How about any of you guys?
I can read that.
I think Vio can.
Step aside.
All right, so Peleus going over to the book
Yeah,
and reading
you
it.
can open it for me.
There's one page that seems to kind of stick out amongst the rest as having been referred to as like the spine of the book has kind of been opened up to it regularly. So you kind of looking at this one particular page, it seems to you to be, with your passive intelligence of just giving this to you, some form of containment spell that requires a specific size of blue zirconia to achieve.
I'll relay that to the party. There's a containment spell.
Maybe it's can be used to contain the phoenix.
Maybe it's being used to contain the phoenix.
Maybe.
Go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me there, Peleus.
Oh, I'm not good on these.
Which is funny because you're
One.
wow. I need to make something for a nat one. Anyway, for a nat one, it's tough.
Come up with a load of bullshit.
Yeah,
There's a
I
roll
mean,
because I'm proficient in Arcana.
yeah, go for it then. So,
Oh no. 6.
so you're not meant to know this apparently, but what you can
Could
tell
be.
though is that
Good
it's some sort of
hypothesis.
containment spell. Yeah, I
Okay,
can't
let's
tell if
prove
it's
it.
been successful or not. Just there's a containment
What-
spell in the book.
And what do you see there? As I shout across the room to Hot, who has been at another table.
Yeah. What is this nonsense? Hang on a second. I have no idea how that got there, but I don't want it there. So I'm getting rid of it. Okay, so where is Hot looking? Hot's looking all the way over here. Oh yes. So Hot sees a whole series of different books. With they all seem to have they look about like a kind of a like a book series, almost like they're all some way connected, maybe same author or something to that effect. But the covers of the books all seem to match some candles that have been set in the back there too. There is there's a form of incense, like a brazier for incense to be burnt in on the back of the table as well. And the last book that was open seems to have kind of more black colorings on it instead.
DM, does Vio see what Peleus or what was doing for the Arcana check?
Sure, I would say one last one because I'm not taking any of those advantage rolls yet. I'll go for one last one as you read through to kind of read over the shoulder. If you want to go for an Arcana check, go for it.
Yeah,
Wild
let's
magic
go.
barbarian history experience. Yeah,
High rolls for tonight. Yeah.
get them out of the way, right? Get them out of the way.
Yeah. Bring on the demon now.
Yeah, what Hot is actually noticing here over here is all of these books are not very large and they're like very thin books, but they all seem to connect to a particular candle for some reason. So with that, anything else you guys are gonna do?
Don't you like that candle? I can do it remotely.
You can, if you wanted to.
I'll have to come up across the room, won't I?
Oh, you can cross the room if you want and light one of those candles up. Pick a color: red, green, white, or blue.
So just let me check. I'm sure I can do it remotely. Spells. Got thaumaturgy.
I'm sure
Hot would do it anyway. Yeah, hot's a
can
fire
just
genasi.
with a flick of the finger he can just light them.
So, which one do you think Hot would want to light up first? Red, green, white, or blue?
I think
White.
red, because he's
White.
hot.
Yeah. So he goes to light up a red candle, and as he does, bursting forth from one of the books, which seems to have a sigil that matches, bursting forth from the cover of one of the books, comes out this bird about this big, and just launches in a small bout of flame, kind of launches and sits on top of the book. Looks to you to be kind of a cardinal type creature, just there and just kind of sits and looks too hot and just kind
Is it a phoenix?
no, it's definitely a cardinal. It's too small to be anything significant of size. It's just a small little bird.
I'm probably one of the only people in England that knows what that is.
Fair enough. Very red bird. No, with a little bit of kind of like a black mask across the eyes and a short, stubby yellow beak, but bright red feathers all across it. It just kind of sits there.
The Phoenix Cardinals. So it is a phoenix.
And kind of does a couple little choop, choop, choop. Flutters out its wings and just looks at you.
Do you want me to deal with it, guys?
Define deal with it. Okay.
Get my Warhammer out.
You gonna smash the bird?
No.
The other table.
Not- Not till I discover its proper place in the scheme of things.
Fair enough.
When I can place it, maybe not.
All right. Well, you have this illusionary portion
Notches
to the
up.
roof. You also have a table underneath it, but you also have these candles that apparently conjure birds. You have that containment spell, and then let's see here. What else have we got in this space? Oh yeah,
How about this other? How about that one?
what appears
table.
here to be is a series of potions. Excuse me, some potions that have been started and unfinished, and well, you don't know if they could actually be finished, and for that matter, what kinds of potions they would be for. But they look like they've only just been started, and the vials and the flasks these Erlenmeyer flasks that appear on this table seem to be heavily covered in dust. It hasn't been touched for quite a long time, as is most of the items that are in this space. You guys, one of the other things you will notice is that the thin layer of dust that seems to cover everything in here, yours are the only footprints up here. So, Vio, roll for me a quick perception check based off of where you are.
Perception. Let's go. Oh no.
All right.
Vio was distracted by the
One.
cardinal. Oh, Brady.
So, trying to make a relationship with the cardinal has distracted Vio from noticing anything around you.
There's at my table with the potions. Is there any like a recipe that I can see where they stopped and where I can continue?
Sure, there is, and there's a number of books that seem to be kind of all closed up and set out OCD in a very specific circle around the potions. And so the first one you're drawn to is the one that's right smack in the center. So you just kind of open it up, and it appears as though it was these were some sort of potion. Well, you know what? Let's roll an Arcana check. Let's see if we can figure it out.
Okay.
We're gonna try and get these Arcanas to turn into something in the double digits for you.
19.
There it is with a 19.
Hell
these
yeah.
So this one's one that you have that you recognize from seeing previous pirate type creatures do something along these lines, trying to. There's a follow from 7 Dungeons. Thank you very much for the follow. But what you see in this book is a recipe for a potion that is simply called Charming Potion. And you've seen this kind of potion being used in the past by pirates who tried to use it to get one over on another person. The potion you've seen that they use tends to be kind of green with a sparkle essence to it as well, and only in extremely small doses did pirates ever carry it around. It looks to you like this wizard was about to try to create something that would have been able to maybe charm an entire army. Good morning to you, 7 Dungeons.
They were definitely up to something.
Perhaps he was using it on those lawful
A
extremes.
turnaround.
Okay.
I walk
Go ahead.
towards Vio.
Sure. Roll a perception check for me, please, Sweat.
Oh,
Nice. So
Nice.
Vio
Finally.
has her foot immediately beside what appears to be some sort of a wooden protrusion, kind of sticking up underneath the rug. You can see this, like the rug has just got that's underneath this table. It's not completely flat. It's just got this little bit that seems to be raised up and is right beside Vio's foot.
Careful. I think you're almost stepping on a button or something under the rug.
A button? What button?
I think so. As I pull up the big round rug next to the table. That the
Sure, and
table's
you do see a small chunk of wood out of the ground that has this kind of spring underneath it.
Maybe it's a booby trap, or maybe a secret entrance, or why don't you give it a try and I'll take a few steps back.
Well,
Or do you have-
I will do
wait,
your
some-
suggestion, good sir.
wait,
and
wait,
we will try
wait.
to activate it.
All right, so you
I don't have mage hand. No.
so you step down onto this, and you hear almost like a tree. It sounds like a tree broke under the floorboards underneath you, and then all of a sudden, the desk in front of you with this mechanical contraption, the mechanical contraption starts to spin and twirl, and the whole desk actually starts to lift up and twist. And you can see underneath the desk, forming underneath it, are stairs seem to fold up in this tight coil, all the way up to the illusion, and the desk disappears in the illusion.
Yeah,
There we go.
whoever said the curiosity kills the cat was wrong.
I think we found the next way up.
And so, are you all heading on up then?
Vio will try to call out to the cardinal. Come with me, Birdie.
All right. Instead of following you, Vio, the cardinal goes and lands on Hot's shoulder.
Aww.
All right. So, you guys start to kind of step up, and you're kind of carefully peeking your head through the illusion, almost expecting your head to hit wood, but it doesn't. And as you step up, your head kind of like coming out of water, kind of start to look up. You can't see the floor beneath you that the rest of your body is still looking at, but you do see this dark stairwell that the desk has now kind of given you access to, that that seems to spiral up the width of the tower a long distance. It goes a long ways up, and it takes as you kind of get closer to the top and continue
It's
walking
it's
up
it's
here.
it's dark, or
It is darker, yes.
okay. Then I will several points on 120 feet up. If it goes that far up, I will cast dancing lights to illuminate our way up.
Alrighty then.
We can all see in the dark anyway because I've used
Wait,
my.
didn't Peleus share his dark vision?
Yes, more swivel this way.
So you have all sorts of different ways of getting. Yeah, Eyes of Night is up on you guys, but you do also have these lovely little dancing light orb that can extend up and just kind of give you a little bit more comfort with. It is the kind of light that you're familiar with anyway. Eyes of Night, you almost don't trust it. You're not sure when it's going to suddenly turn off, and so having these extra lights, just a little bit more comfort for you as you make your way up this space. And let's see here. When you finally, as you continue up to the top, you do see along all the way up, and as you climb all the way up here, you're looking to see where on earth it goes. It does appear to disappear through another set of floorboards, but this is going to take you some time to get all the way up here. By the time you get to the top, your thighs are starting to burn. You're using your arms to kind of help you pull yourself up. It's like climbing up the Space Needle, just to try to get to the top level. And or I guess whatever your reference point is. I use the Space Needle, and it's not even anywhere near me. Go CN Tower. Climbing the stairs up a tall tower, the burning thighs feeling that you would have.
Would
Eventually, you
clinch
guys make your way to the top.
onto Hut, where he would help me to drag me along.
For sure, you would. Would not mind at all either. Seems to rather enjoy your presence on his arm. And the Cardinal just kind of chirping quietly in your ear as you're going all the way up here, too. Let's see here. Did I get everybody in there? Because my stream didn't update.
Yeah, everybody's in.
Update. Yeah. Okay, there we go. There we go.
As we come up, I will put some lipstick on my lips and shout, "Yoo-hoo! Is anybody home?" As I cast friends when we enter.
Okay. Post for me, friends. It's been a long time since. Well, that's not true. It's been long enough that I don't remember it.
It's just an advantage on charisma checks for the next minute.
Okay, fair enough. Perfect. So what you see in this space, and I don't have is it seems to be some sort of like the private chambers of a wizard. So you see a large, what would be equivalent to a queen-sized bed with a settee at the foot of it. Very nice bed sheets that are obviously seemingly moth-eaten, but were gorgeous at one point in time. You see all sorts of other some like statues up here. There's a treasure chest and a mirror, and a little table in the middle of it for what appears to be greeting guests, perhaps. And in the window, you can see right here, as you guys approach, a large bird, very haggard looking, like a lot of the feathers have fallen off of its body, long tail of one feather, and you can see right down to its dark blackened skin with like little flecks of white, almost like downy kind of stuff that just look haggard. And as you guys step up to the top, this bird-like creature with not much left to him kind of looks to you, and it almost looks like it's crying. just with the lack of feathers to cover its face, it just looks like it's been like mascara has been running down its face.
Darling. As I right away start to walk to approach it slowly. What happened to you?
And it kind of just
Let me take care of you, I will say with an... let Wet take care of you. You will... I will do a persuasion check.
yeah, I would like that, please.
With advantage.
That it is.
Because that's the friends.
Persuasion coming up.
Sorry, I was to load my...
That's all right. So as you're
22.
Oh, bloody hell.
So
Nice.
as you guys are approaching and kind of you see the bird kind of shuffle a little bit towards the closer to the windowsill, and it's still just looking sad, but also trying to extend its head and its sternum as if trying to present an air of pride. And as
how-
you kind of,
How big of a bird are we talking about?
it's a
Like
Pretty
peacock or
large peacock, like
large peacock? Right.
yeah, like think
Turkey.
Big as peacock. Gotcha.
yeah,
Shoot it
a
out the
big ass
window.
peacock that probably had really colorful plumage at one point in time, but it's all just gray and old and worn, and looking to Hot, who happens to have a cardinal. It just kind of does, and the cardinal just kind of looks back as does a couple little chirps,
Shoot it out the window, Sky.
and
Then the old adage is fulfilled, but pride comes before a fall.
as you get close enough to it, he kind of reaches his head out and just kind of reaches his beak out towards you for it to touch.
I tried to caress it.
And you put off of the hand and just kind of lays its head on it, and you feel the weight of it, a good solid, like a sizable head for this bird, just kind of rest as if it's been held up for way too long and is finally resting its head.
There you
And-
go.
You step it closer to it and kind of let it wrap itself around your shoulders. You have now added approximately 40 pounds of weight to it. It's a big, and it's a bird, so 40 pounds for a bird is pretty big.
You want to
Can
check for me? Or?
I make a check on this?
Yes, you can. Go for it, Peleus. It would be a nature or history, your choice in this case.
Can Vio try to speak with it by using the speak with animal spell?
You certainly can.
Look at it. Ask it what's the matter with it, Vio.
Sure. Vio will use that spell and try to converse with it, asking it, "Who are you? What happened to you?"
And it will say, kind of lift its head just a little bit off of Wet's shoulder, enough to kind of give. And you guys all hear just kind of sounds coming back from it, and what it says to you says, "My name is being forgotten. I've been here waiting for my friend for too long."
I got a
not-
15 on the
That
name.
is. Sorry.
I don't think he's coming back.
Mhm.
And for
Well-
yours, Peleus, sorry, I'll just do this real quick, Vio, and then you can carry on. Peleus, for yours, you, with a 15 nature check, you recall there are myths of phoenixes rising from ashes. And that somehow that they are eternal. They seem to last forever. They get just reborn and reborn and reborn again. Those are the pieces of information that you recall. You don't know if it's dangerous in this state or not. And it certainly doesn't look like it's dangerous. Just
Do I
weary.
recall any of its resistances or vulnerabilities or?
Not with a 15, no.
Like the opposite of them, really.
Maybe
not with-
it needs a spark to light up again, Hot.
Go ahead, Vio.
Can't hear Sky Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vio was talking. You're muted. Vio was talking to the creature. Vio, you're still muted.
Sorry, my bad. Vio translates for the group. She says that the bird says that its name is being forgotten and that it is waiting for someone to come back. Although it doesn't seem like
It's mate.
Well, let me ask that. Are you waiting for your mate?
No. Another two-legger lives here. Or lived here.
That does he or she looks like hot or wet?
Kind of curls the head around Wet's neck and kind of gestures a little bit more towards Peleus. More like that one. But red clothes, like yours.
So a handsome, charismatic
Okay.
priest.
Via would also like to ask if the bird wants to eat something or does it want to get out of the cage? I think it's in the cage, right?
No, it's not really in a cage. It's just been sitting in this tower waiting. It
Ah,
seems.
okay.
It looks.
I'm carrying it.
Yeah, I mean, looking around the space, it becomes particularly obvious that there's been a bird in here. You can smell, like almost like decomposed feathers, and actually see a lot of them in the various spaces. Mostly underneath one of the statues that's in this space.
Ask if it's the phoenix.
Oh, yeah. Via would like to ask, we're looking for a phoenix. Do you know where we can find one?
And it kind of, in its odd way, while wrapped around Wet's neck, just kind of does this to you, just like, and then looks back over to look just kind of straight up at Wet, which is like your head's right there. Look back up at Wet. I am a phoenix.
Really?
And for
What
this,
phoenix are?
for the rest of you guys, you're all like, just low grumble, kind of coming from the front. You can actually feel it on your shoulder. This low grumble is like coming as it speaks back to Vio.
It's gonna be sick on you.
Well, what? It says that it's a phoenix, but it's not burning though.
Ask it if it likes radiant damage.
Do you
Imagine
ask
on
it that,
fire.
Vio?
Normally they have
Um,
flames, I
pe-
think.
Peleus is asking if you would like some gold.
I haven't got any gold.
And it says back to you, I have no use for metal.
Other than that, he's offering you some radiant love.
Kind of looks over to you. Looks over to you, Peleus, and does a quick little glance at you, and says, and then looks back to you, Vio, and says, "Not the kind he offers." But love is not a bad thing.
Okay,
He needs to
Peleus.
be like.
It says it's
uh,
okay. Give him.
Not the
Maybe we.
kind. Go for it, Sky.
If Peleus says that phoenixes get reborn, then maybe we need to put this old retired phoenix to its end, and the new one will spawn out of it. Maybe
Well,
we'll put it down
for
and let
for
Hot fry it.
view.
What do you say, Hot? You want to respark a phoenix?
Hot's all for it. And the Phoenix says, kind of as Hot's kind of approaching, just kind of lifts its head back a little bit, and kind of for you, Vio, with your speak with animals, like, what are you doing?
Oh, don't worry. We're just going to give you some warm love.
Or it kind of settles in, and as Hot goes to reach out for the Phoenix on Wet's shoulder.
I put the phoenix on the ground.
Okay. Okay.
Burning hands is coming.
Well, and I don't think he's burning hands. Right at this point in time, he's just kind of reaching out to the Phoenix, and
Burning hands.
yeah, you could do burning hands. But even just reaching out to the Phoenix kind of looks up, and you can see some of the tail feathers first, and even a couple of the pin feathers underneath the wings. They start to kind of turn this bright red, and then it starts to get quite nervous and unhappy, and kind of shuffles away, further and further away from Hot and closer to Wet. And Vio, you get the sense very quickly through your speak with animals. It's not actually saying anything that's like verbal. It's definitely giving you the sense of this isn't right. This isn't right.
Vio will stop Hot from approaching the Phoenix, saying that I don't think it likes some touch from you, Hot.
Wet is gonna need a name change to evaporated, says Leolar in the chat.
Together we are just steamy.
So it kind of gathers itself back up to your feet, which is not really at your feet. It's more like at your waist with the way it stands. Even with its haggard look, with its weary look, it still stands fairly decently tall to you.
Maybe we can just bring this one. I mean, a phoenix is a phoenix. If it says it's a phoenix, nobody said they needed a nice and healthy flaming one. Maybe we can just bring this one and it can suffice. Why don't you ask if it wants to come along with us? To another place.
Yep. Mr.
Away from
Are you
adults.
Mr.? Sorry, my dogs are barking. Let me just type it.
So as you go to speak to the Phoenix responds with, to where?
Back to
Raven's
the
typing it.
sanctuary.
So let's this relay happen by way of Vio. It asks you more about the sanctuary. So over the course of the next couple of minutes, you explain that the sanctuary that you guys are talking about is where a number of different creatures are being cared for when they don't already have care. And that there's this little girl that's wanting to take care of them. And so in this explanation, you very easily convince the Phoenix it's better than staying in an empty place where his old friend is no longer. And so eventually kind of with his long talons tries to gently climb back up to your shoulder, Wet. And so you guys can make your way back out with a phoenix scarf.
Yes.
On, is there
That
anything
went
else?
easy than planned.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to do in this space before you guys left?
Have a good look round. There's a
Okay.
chest over there.
Yeah, so while all this conversation is happening, why don't we say that that's what Peleus is doing? Is doing your lovely little look around. Peleus, could I get you to please roll for me an investigation check?
God, I'm rubbish on these checks. I need some wisdom checks.
All
An
right.
8.
All right. So, let's see here. And with an 8, I mean, it's not hard. You needed to get an 8, honestly. So, there's a great big book that is sitting out on one of the tables. Hang on. Where is it here? Right in the smack in the center of the room. It's probably the most interesting thing in the space. The mirror is a mirror. The treasure chest seems to be largely empty, save for some vestments and clothes. But this book is a book titled "The Fountain of Heroes."
Is it in common?
It is in common,
Buddy.
but it does seem to have a bunch of elven notes in the margins as well. Something about Vikings and the icier regions of Noxtern.
I'll pick it up then.
All right, so you take with you a book called The Fountain of Heroes. Making your way back down towards the bottom, you do. The phoenix kind of chirps a little bit back and forth between you, Vio, and the cardinal a little bit, actually. And you actually hear the cardinal basically only has one word that it speaks to the phoenix, and it is friend. Friend. It's like grooting his way through the entire experience. Just friend. Every time something is said to him on Hot's shoulder. But you guys make your way back down. About 10 minutes later, you guys get to the bottom of the tower again. It takes you a good chunk of time to get down to the bottom. And as you get to the bottom level, the cardinal kind of does one last little turn to look on at Hot's face on his shoulder and just goes, Vio, you understand it because your Speak with Animals is about 10 minutes long as well. It just kind of goes, friend, and then disappears off of Hot's shoulder.
That is one sad friend child. Friend.
But you guys can make your way back towards Sterndale, which is the village that has the sanctuary. It's by the time you get back, it will be dark again. But you can quickly and easily find the sanctuary and find. I mean, you can find Juniper, who was one of your previous party members. You could find the dragon. Actually, you will see the dragon as you guys are approaching. Kind of sitting on the edge of the cliffside. And interestingly enough, you will also notice that the dragon is also seemingly in conversation with a pale-faced 6-year-old.
God, you're not corrupting the dragon, is he? Not doing all my hard work.
But as you step towards
With her innocence and manga-like eyes.
right, manga-like eyes, awesome. So Wet, you have the phoenix kind of wrapped around your shoulder, and it is just kind of dripping off your shoulder in weariness as you approach Z and her giant raccoon Kiefer. You're muted.
Sorry. Here you go, Zelly. One phoenix as ordered.
Terran,
Is it-
come on over. Come on over.
I've-
And
I have to warn you, he's a little bit depressed. But I think he will find a great home here in the sanctuary. Maybe make new friends, and I'm sure you will have him upbeat and cheerful with love within no time.
And as Zelly actually gestures for a Terran in the space, Terran, the 6-year-old, kind of looks to the dragon, pats it on the nose, and then skitters away from the dragon. And the dragon kind of does a little nose shake, looks to you, Peleus, does a little bit of a brown nod, and then jumps off the cliff face to back down to its own little cave that you have set out for it. Terran comes barreling up to you very quickly, and the phoenix just kind of lifts its head up a little bit away in recoil from this small humanoid, and then looks at it. It just kind of regards it, and Terran looking up at the bird on your shoulder right now, Wet. What is it? And you can see the sallowed eyes of this poor 6-year-old. Very thin arms and almost bone-like fingers from whatever it's ailing it. What is it? Well, it's a phoenix, dearie. What does it do? And she just kind of reaches up to you, Wet, to try to get the phoenix. What do you do?
I gesture the phoenix to step over from person to person.
And it's the phoenix is both looking kind of between you, Wet, and you, Vio. And as it kind of settles down on the ground, the Terran just kind of not really actually going to grasp it and hug it like a teddy bear, but kind of guides it down to the ground a little bit. Oh, what do you need? And just kind of goes to reach out and pet it on its side, and the phoenix kind of pulls away, but still not fast enough to be able to stop the child. And feeling the warmth of the hand from the child, what little warmth there is, just kind of leans into it, leans into her hand eventually, just a little bit. And you notice the tail feather again starting to turn red, and the pin feathers underneath, but now it's kind of shooting down the wing and all up the neck and across the top of the head, as the few feathers that it has begin to shift color into this bright, almost luminescent red color. And then from the tail, in the exact same way the color came up, you start to see it kind of burn up in flame. The whole creature just ignites and creates this temporary bonfire almost in front of you guys all step away from, except for Hot. Doesn't seem to be bothered by it. But the rest of you guys all kind of step a little bit away from it, and it's all just in this sudden flash of flame, and then nothing. It kind of collapses into ash, and the girl, Terran, just like, what did I do? What did I do?
Don't worry. Sorry, that was my Bob voice. Hey, don't worry. So it's nice when you play two different characters. They say phoenixes rise from their ashes again, so I'm sure it will come back. At least you got to see it for its last moments in this plane.
And Zelly's, actually, if we pile up the ashes, we can. Zelly looks kind of beside herself, doesn't really know what she's doing here. Just like starts to kind of scoop up the ashes, and in a couple of moments, look, and then Terran's like just like over top of it, so you guys can't actually see anything. Oh, hi, little guy.
There's an egg.
We need wood. We need to make a nest. We need things. And Zelly says, okay, you go ahead and get them. I'll make sure this take. Okay, and Terran just kind of runs away. Says, as she runs away, you guys can now see that there is this very small, unfeathered pink head that is just kind of peering out from the ash and just kind of, just kind of dusting off of it as it kind of looks up. Big old freaking beady eyes. The beak is the only thing that seems to look familiar from the older creature. It's
Kidding me. All the way I carried this huge bird, and just when we arrive, she turns herself into a little chick. I still feel my shoulder. Ugh.
Zelly looks to you, Wet, and says, I've never seen that before. Yeah, you must be sore. You can go over to have your night, and we'll talk more tomorrow morning. And she's just in awe of this thing. That
I think she wanted to die already for a long time. She said she was waiting for somebody who would never come. So now she finally arrived in the sanctuary. I guess she finally gave up and gave in to being peaceful, which led her to resurrect, I guess.
Wow.
Once again, we see the hand of the goddess at work.
Indeed. Probably lots of gods. But yes. Okay.
Anyway, another one to cross off the list.
Indeed. Tomorrow morning, let's talk one more time tomorrow morning, as we're gonna need to take care of. Did it have a name? Okay.
It's been forgotten.
It can't
said-
remember, it says.
It said its name is been forgotten.
All right. I think. I'll ask Taryn what she wants to name it, and then I guess. You guys have Stephen. Well, how do you tell? And she kind of starts peering through the ash a little bit. It's not like us, where it's obvious whether or not they're a boy phoenix or a girl phoenix.
Call it Ashley.
That would work. A little bit more of a non-binary name, I suppose.
Phoenix?
Phoenix would work well. Just calling it Phoenix. And with that, you guys are then released for the night, as Taryn comes running back in with some branches and blankets and claws to try to create a little bit of a nest, and puts the phoenix gingerly into the nest and takes it with Zelly's guidance to some other place in the sanctuary.
How did the group meet up with Hot? Was that along the way, or was that in the sanctuary?
We kind of retconned it and just said that Hot was with you since the beginning, since you guys left to go towards the tower.
Okay.
Yeah, we there was no really great narrative way to do that, so we just yeah, he was there with you.
Yeah. As soon as we're excused, I grab his hand and drag him back in the back room, in the closet
Alright.
somewhere.
Pan to the fireplace.
Steam comes out
Steam-
through the door.
Oh, jeez. Okay. If that's the case, I would like Peleus and Vio to roll a Constitution saving throw. Vio, being a barbarian, you're a little bit more used to hearing all sorts of interesting romantic relationships in action. This almost sounds
Barking
violent.
dogs.
Yeah, it sounds like barking dogs. That's what it sounds like. You hear? We're gonna use our soundtrack now. And it's like, even for you, it's slightly off-putting, and you need to leave and go get yourself a drink. And so, go in and get yourself a drink. You have a little bit more perhaps than you probably should, and end up falling asleep due to some form of mead that they were serving at Sterndale. Peleus, on the other hand, you've actually had, Peleus, with your experience, you've actually come upon a a couple of wargs at one point in time who were going at it that were much louder than these guys. But
I'm going to say I'm used to them going at it like a rusty steam engine.
there, oh dear. Oh, I like it. So you go and ask Vio. Vio goes to ask Zelly about hanging out with the Griffin for the night, and is quite comfortable. Zelly is quite comfortable with allowing that. So you go and eventually roll for me a. You know what? Roll for me a persuasion check. I'm gonna say with advantage too, because the Griffin knows you and actually liked you best out of all of the people in the party. There you go.
Oh,
So with a
nice.
17, you're able to even snuggle up with the Griffin for the overnight.
Yeah. Nice.
In the morning, we just find a pile of bones in the Griffin's nest.
So
I'm sure Vio was around.
hopefully not. I'm gonna rage sleep with them.
Rage sleep with him. I'm going to sleep. And yeah, okay. Anyway, jeez. So the next, so you guys all find your own way to your own steamy, feathery, griffiny, places of sleep, and get yourselves in a long rest one more time before checking back in with Zelly and Keith. When you guys get up this next time around, Zelly looks a little tired when you guys first approach her. You're muted.
We will stay
Let's
level
see-
4, right? In this small adventure.
Yeah, in this adventure, we'll just stay level 4.
We're going to say, isn't got them bloody names. Is it Wet and Hot a bit tired because they've been up all night?
That's a question for Wet to answer. So maybe I should go with I know. Here's what we're gonna do. Wet, I would like to roll for me an athletics check.
I'm proficient in athletics.
Of course you are. Oh God. Okay, fine. If you rolled if lower than a 15, I was gonna have you wake up with a point of exhaustion, but apparently you're particularly able to handle this athletic activity. But Zelly was not, and Zelly, as you guys kind of emerge, Zelly looks to you, Wet and Hot, and says, "Have a good night."
We had fun. Now I'm hungry. As I march to whatever breakfast that is being served.
Would have been scones and jams for sure.
Perfect.
And she looks. Well, we got one more that we're hoping to figure out.
If you can see a little difference by the way from yesterday, that normally I'm dripping from like I'm very moist, but now I look a little bit more dried up because I spent all night with Hot.
So well, there's one more. This one might be the hardest one. I don't know. That Phoenix took some effort last night to settle in. And your dragon, it seems to think that I'm its slave almost. Is that something we're gonna have to get used to?
So yeah.
You're the one who wants us together, then.
Well,
We
yeah,
don't-
but
We're not here to tell you how to run your sanctuary. We just get the animals.
he doesn't
Or the
treat Terran that
mythical
way.
creatures.
Just me. Like, is it old? Is it age? Is that what I? But is that me? Like, I had to go and get it a goat last night, and it was thankfully Keith is fast. So like, anyway, unicorn. There's the unicorn. That's the last one. I don't think we'd
Yes.
have space for anything else anyway.
You're telling me that unicorns exist?
Well, that's the theory. There's reports that there is a unicorn for sure, definitely in the Forgotten Garden grounds. Wow, that was hard. Forgotten Garden grounds. That the stories is that it's being kept there by some beast, and I don't know what it is. But anything that can keep a unicorn in place, well, it can't be good.
Good to know.
And so if we can get it here, we've
And
got this large field that I'm sure it would love.
where are those gardens?
And she just kind of gives you a gesturing and gives you some general directions to get you guys to him. For the Forgotten Gardens, or she calls them the Hedon Gardens.
Nobody remembers where they are.
Well, this is one of those wonderful things where the realm. I don't know if I've shown you. Actually, I should show you guys real quick, and I'm going to try and do that right now here in the Video Ninja. The map, yes, exactly. So, I mean, the map that shows up here is kind of a squished version of things, but it is. This is the map for the game for the realm. No, this button here. There we go. That's the one. It's in my random adventures folder, which is, where is my random adventures folder? Right there. Okay, so the map is kind of sort of like this thing right here. So really the whole realm is this magical star-shaped realm. Oh, there you go. That's it right there.
And
And
the sanctuary in the middle.
yeah, the sanctuary is not actually in the middle. The sanctuary is actually right around here. And this is the lake where you found the Kraken. The tower is actually not even on the map. The tower is actually somewhere out in this lovely little plains. But the Hedon Gardens are somewhere up in... where's my finger? My finger's disappearing. Okay. In this region right in here is where she ends up gesturing you towards. Okay, so... yeah, there we go. And with all that, so kind of gestures you into this, towards this odd, extremely colorful forest, upon the edge of which you are directed to for the Hedon Gardens. And I'm going to find that here real quick on my sheet. So without too much hassle, is there anything you guys wanted to do but to prepare before you guys headed out? Or just go for it?
I want to ask Zelly, do you know what the unicorn's being guarded by? Is it some sort of creature or beast?
No, I've been quite busy here, unfortunately. What I can tell you is that there used to be this, maybe noble family, this great family of some sort, that used to own the land over there, kept it in pristine condition, and that they had this pet that wandered the lands, later on rumored to be a unicorn. Again, it's not unusual to have random plagues and happenstances take over Noxtern. We kind of simply wait for the next one to happen, and in this case, this family has simply gone missing. Theories are that actually the family that went missing here is also the same family that they went missing around the same time as the castle, the people who lost the castle, maybe even the wizard, who knows. But there was a great calamity that had them all whisked away, and magical creatures seemed to be largely the ones left behind, and all the simple folk were left behind as well. So, there's this theory that if you amass too much wealth, something else will take you too. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the creatures don't need to still be taken care of, and well, whatever's keeping that unicorn in place, that's just that's what we want to deal with, because the unicorn deserves a chance.
We'll deal with it.
We'll retrieve it.
By the way, I anticipate that the payment in full should be arriving later this morning. So when you come back with a unicorn, there should be some significant pay ready for you.
Finally.
And thank you.
Give a bit
I've
more
never
to the
seen Taryn
dragon.
happier.
Let's go then. To finish this weird petting zoo for the rich.
Jeez, are we making ourselves out to be rich?
One
right.
little girl wants all her mystical animals. Sounds a little bit
Yeah.
like the girl from the Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, totally.
Veruca.
Ew.
Daddy, I want a
Veruca
squirrel.
Salt. Oh my, there are very few characters that just make my skin crawl more than that character does. Anyway,
The boy with the video game also.
I could handle her more than I could handle him more than I could handle Veruca Salt. Veruca drove me bonkers. Pokemon. Okay, gotta collect them all. Okay, gotta catch them all. All right, so yes. Okay, so let's see here.
Although I guess it would be more like the Magnificent Beast.
All right, so as you guys make your way towards this lovely forested location, so you guys get into the forest, and it is absolutely like a rainbow has thrown up on all of the leaves of these trees. Every tree seems to have all different bright colors on top of on their leaves. Some of them variegated, where you have a purple leaf that happens to have a bright green line down the middle of it, and just a wash in color, like you're looking through a kaleidoscope as you're walking through the entrance to this forest. Trying to follow the directions in this place turns out to be a little bit more challenging than you would expect, largely because the colors almost throw your vision just a little bit. So I'm going to get everybody to roll for me their choice. I'll give them a choice. Their choice of either a survival check or we'll go with perception. Survival or perception.
Oh,
There's a nat 20 on Dax.
Are you not gonna roll anymore?
No, I still need everybody to do it. And I'm even gonna, it's like to the point where I'm actually gonna ask the chat to roll for hot.
Everybody is just following Deck. Deck takes point.
Let's see what we get. Ooh. Hang on. Yeah, it's a roll. There you go, got it. All right, and then what's Hot's? Hot would use. Where are you, Hot? There you go. Hot would probably use. Let's see here. Perception's a +1. Survival's plus. It's just a +1 period for wet, no matter what. So, okay. So, Peleus, giving some direction along the way, or kind of getting a bit of a sense. You've been around all sorts of strange prismatic colors beforehand. You know fairly quickly that it's don't look at the leaves. Don't look at the leaves. They'll distract you. I would so you end up start kind of watching for the trunks and kind of start measuring your way and distance and directionality by way of the trunks, and every once in a while kind of peek up to the sunlight to see where it is to kind of keep your bearings. On the other hand, Vio, Hot, and Wet are having you turn at one point in time and they're not behind you. Vio, Hot, and Wet. For the three of you guys, what you as you kind of are looking through the trees, a couple of times you do this wondrous glance past, and everything just kind of starts to turn into like finger paint smear across a canvas, and your vision just becomes kind of blurred. And trying to see your direction at all doesn't seem to really happen. You can't even see your friends.
Go. The colors are just too bright. I cannot handle it.
And from the side of you,
I feel behind me if I can still feel hot.
you don't. Hot's not there.
Guys!
And now, VO, you could hear about 15 feet away from you, Wet call out. So what do you guys do?
I'm going to go back and
I
try
mean-
and round them up. Trying to go back and try. I can't
Sure,
remember
so-
Frank.
Peleus, you find VO, you do
V-
go back. Go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Herding cats. That's what
And you did hear Wet call out, I'll say, but you were already about 30 feet away.
I'll keep shouting
Hmm.
until I find somebody. Yoo-hoo!
So with a 14 perception check and Wet just calling out yoo-hoo, 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 you you do eventually find Wet, and along the way you also find Hot as well. And Hot just kind of looks back. I don't see you. How are we going to get through?
Hold hands, everybody. Follow me.
We're invisible?
Not invisible. You just can't see. All you see are these wash of colors out in front of your face. So it's almost as if something has stolen your vision from you and replaced it with this smear. Vio offers to tie a rope as well to each of you guys, and so between the hand holding and the rope tying around waists and such, you guys are able to get tied back up in such a way that Peleus can basically drag you through the right spot. So, Peleus, I'm going to get you to roll. This is going to be a fun one for me. I would like you to roll for me a persuasion check, and Wet and Vio, can you guys both roll for me, please? Just a basic constitution check. Not a saving throw, just a check.
6.
So what?
Okay.
What am I rolling? Which check? Sorry.
Persuasion.
Persuasion. Brilliant.
Okay. Oh, wow. So you get a little bit frustrated with Vio. Vio is a little bit more headstrong, perhaps, than the other two. The other two seem to just kind of follow your instructions most of the time as best as they possibly can, despite not being able to see much.
Like it when another man leads.
Vio ends up and Vio is actually between at the end of it, and so every once in a while Vio just takes a step to the left in or to the right instead, and at one point in time actually almost like well, going on the wrong side of the tree, catches the rope and yanks back on Wet just a little bit, and so you guys all kind of like stumble back and eventually kind of get yourselves going, but it takes a little bit of effort to get yourselves through here. I'm going to say that well towards the afternoon before you finally break through some of these trees and see in front of you this 12-foot tall hedge just right smack in the middle in front of you. And it's the nice thing about the hedge, though, is that it's largely green. Multicolored berries in this hedge, but it's largely green foliage that covers it. And so now I'm going to get wisdom saving throw from Vio and Wet. And we may as well do the same thing from the chat, too. Pardon me. Wisdom saving throw, if you will, please. Yeah, Wet. You're able to kind of shake it off and kind of blink the colors out of your eyes to the point where you're just looking at the green hedge in front of you. You do a quick little glance and then realize, oh, wait a second, there's still colorful trees behind me. I better not look back there again. Vio, you just can't shake this. It's not going anywhere. And the Hot kind of blinks back out and kind of looks back at you at Wet and says, oh, it's good to see your face again, love.
But that would never
Um,
stop.
Right? And so you guys now see this hedge, and it seems to extend into the forest down to your left and just disappear out of view. And off to the right, it seems to do the same, just disappears off into view. This long, seemingly unending 12-foot tall hedge.
No entrance, right?
Not that you could see here, but it does appear as well. You can see evidence. I will say that you could see evidence that at one point in time it was well manicured, but it's now starting to get a little bit overgrown and have significant shoots kind of going straight up into the sky, maybe making the hedge seem taller than 12 feet.
What do you think, guys? Left, right, or straight through?
Theo could try picking me up again and throw me around like a piece of gym equipment over the hedge.
That doesn't sound anything that has any manner to it.
No, but he was doing that the first time we met, so...
I should actually also forget, I keep missing this one here. Uck is also with you,
Yeah.
right? So Uck the Barbarian, we should have also had, I'm going to say that his roles would have been the same actually as Hawks. We'll just keep it simple that way. But Uck, it would probably be something
Sorry,
along the
guys.
lines of...
Dressing.
Oh, that's all good. Uck would probably be something along the lines of... I was once an actor in a play called The Secret Garden. And sometimes all you had to do was just keep looking for ice cream, and it would show, entrances would show up.
That's exactly the sort of thing he would say.
Helpful, thank you.
I don't know, I'm making crap up now. So,
How thick is the hedge?
Al, you go to kind of push your way in to see if you can pull it to kind of push some branches and brambles aside. It is definitely too thick for your arm to reach all the way across. You don't feel an end to it. It's just brush all the way through.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you could try to cut your way all the way through into it if you wanted to. You could try and go up and down one side or the other to see if you could find an entrance. Vio looks for a rabbit hole. Roll me an investigation check there, Vio. $15. Vio, you kind of start kind of pushing as Wet is also kind of pushing through to see how thick it is. You're actually kind of looking around for what appears to potentially be some sort of a like critters who may have set this place up as their homes, and instead, as you kind of go looking for a rabbit hole, which you find ground squirrel holes, there's no way you're going to fit into that though. What you do also notice is that there seems to have been at one point in time, probably sometime recently, somebody did already try to carve through the hedge in this one spot a little bit further down from you. It's largely grown back in, but
I think this is
somebody
something
before.
for Uck. Go ahead, Uck. Slash and smash.
Takes out the what has he got? He's got a mace or something like that, I think.
Flail.
Oh,
I think it's
there
two-handed
is a
flail.
hydrate check, so let's make sure that we do some hydrations. Must find my... There we go.
That was nasty.
All right, that was nice. That was good timing there, Layla. Nicely done. So Uck kind of goes towards where Vio's looking then, and just starts kind of pushing through. We're just gonna say that the branch is not gonna have anything on Uck, and just kind of pushes their way through and cuts your way in. About it kind of disappears almost 4 feet through. It's, I think I found the end, and kind of disappears into the brush behind. Are you guys going to follow in through the same place he's cutting through?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, you break through, and what you see is basically as you break through into this, you see another hedge wall immediately in front of you, and you now realize that the gardens are actually a labyrinth of some sort. and not really certain where the target would be inside here, but you know that the family used to live here, so you're looking to see if you can find maybe a homestead or something along those lines. But looking off to your left and to your right, and actually before you actually even look too far, Uck will actually say, "Uh-oh," and point to something you see wrapped up in vines at the base of one of the walls of the hedge, that appears to be a human corpse, mostly decomposed. You can see some of the now dried, but probably at one point in time were juicy bits on the bones, but I can't pull that off. Thank you, Sky. Appreciate that.
In a
Lame.
row.
Yeah, that's a win. That's a record. Let's give you guys a DM inspiration for that.
How'd you get rid of that?
I'm a
Sky
moderator.
Guy's got moderator, so yeah, I should put you as moderator too, Dak, because you can be on top of that too. I can't do that while not multitasking. I'm not that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see that there's the whatever creature it was that probably burrowed a hole through this hedge is still there, wrapped up in those vines.
Can we make out what it is?
So you could go ahead and roll a nature check for me. Corsair's Cove with a raid. Oh, wonderful. Corsair's
Welcome,
Cove.
welcome.
Good to see you guys here. Appreciate that you're all here. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Corsair's Cove, I noticed that you were on earlier on and kind of peeked in for a little bit before my game. So glad to have you guys come and join us as well. Appreciate it. And there's a follow now from it too. D. James I'm not sure. D. James Fortescue. I'm going for that. That's what I'm going to call it until you tell me otherwise. But yeah, good. Thank you very much for the follow. I'm going to put a little explanation here as to what's happening. We're actually not far away from the end of our session anyway, but you're catching us at a very interesting kind of juncture. So here's kind of where things go for it. We are playing a Roll for Wishes campaign. So this is a fundraising campaign for Make-A-Wish International. And if you're interested in donating, that would be wonderful. We're looking for a target of $250 by the time we get to March. That's our goal there. So this is a campaign that was written. I'll give you the names of the people who wrote it too, because that's what's appropriate. This was written by where is it? By Bouncer Watts and Legends of Logomancy, and Casual Sally and Arsalan Ali Aga. These are people who have contributed to creating these campaigns for Make-A-Wish International. So this is a D&D campaign made for Make-A-Wish called for Roll for Wishes. Really kind of fun. And we're getting towards the end of it. So here's kind of the basic story outline. We have this poor child, 6 years old, named Taryn, who is sick and wants to have a wish fulfilled by her community of being able to take care of all of the mythical creatures that have been abandoned or left aside in the realm of Noxtern. And so far, this party has been able to wrangle most of them. They've wrangled a griffin, they've wrangled a dragon, they've wrangled a kraken, and they've wrangled as of today, a phoenix as well. And it's not necessarily much wrangling involved, because they're either babies or about to become babies, as the phoenix was actually reborn just a few moments ago. Now they're on the look for a unicorn that seems to be kept in its a little garden space by some sort of creature. Or so the party has been told. And they have now happened upon, through a magical forest where they all kind of had some strange brain things happen going through, they've happened upon this large green labyrinth hedge that they have now just entered and found a body in. And that is where we are picking up. Corsair's Cove, thank you very much again for the raid. And I've done a shout out, but I feel like it was a long ways back there, so I'm going to do it again.
Just the pirate raiding as well.
Yeah, so with that, you guys all see this long hedge that kind of and it does actually, towards your right, it actually seems to have a corner that you can start to go down instead. But you're in a large maze that you can't see from the top. What are you guys going to do?
I thought you said we saw some sort of creature and I've made a nature check.
Right, sorry, the nature check. So the nature check, oh, you rolled a nat 1 on the nature check, though?
Again.
Yeah.
I'm just a
It-
city boy. I know nothing about the
well,
outside.
Looking at the skeletal form of this thing that's been wrapped up in the vines, the only thing that you can make out is that the bones where the vines seem to be wrapped seem to have broken. Get the sense that perhaps this creature was perhaps killed before the vines claimed it. And so, you guys now want to go left, want to go right, want to use some other thing to kind of help yourselves out along the way. Let's see what you guys can come up with. What are you guys going to do? Magic awareness to check the surroundings from Vio. So Vio, our human barbarian? I think so. Yes, human barbarian. She has kind of opens up her magical awareness, and Vio, what you see in this hedge area doesn't appear as though like there's this dull ache almost. It's not really a ping or a light source or anything. It's just like this dull ache of magic infused in everything. The hedge itself, the vines that you see covering this corpse, even the soil seems to ache a sense of magic around you. And Uck's gonna say, left, right?
You should go left.
Left it is, and he takes his mace and starts kind of waving out in front of him just to make sure that nothing comes at him for traps or such, and start walking through this hedge. I'm gonna get you guys to all roll for me now, please, as you guys make your way through this maze. We're gonna see here. I lost my spot. Oh, that's because I rolled the wrong way. Okay, so roll for me a perception check. We'll go with a perception check. And we can actually get the chat to do that
15.
too. Why not? Let's get you guys to roll a quick perception check as well. This perception check will wrap up what Hot and Uck can see, as were not able to join us today. That's a roll 100. I don't know why that says roll 100. That's really weird. Let's solve that. Roll call should actually say roll 20. There we go. That's better. Huzzah. Okay. And so from a cheese VO with a nat 1 and a 13 on Peleus's perception check and a 15 on Wet's perception check. Let's see what the chat rolls out for us. Chat, you can roll it out. There it is. Leolar rolls out for us an 8. All right, so you guys can't see much. On the other hand, Wet, you do actually start to notice. It's almost, as you're walking along, it's almost as if you are being followed, but not followed by any bipedal or quadrupedal kind of creature, but rather by vines that seem to weave their way through the hedge. You relay that information to anybody? These vines just kind of weaving their way in between the brambles and the branches, following, for the most part, Vio. Kind of staying in line with Vio as you guys are walking through this maze, trying to figure out your way through things.
As they go through, I see a side entrance, and I push Hot against his chest into a corner. As the rest starts walking at the mage, through the maze, grab him by the collar and give him a firm kiss.
Okay.
A steam starts going off from it.
Roll for me a dexterity saving throw. And let's go for one from Hot as well. So that Hot, the roll for Hot has to come from the chat.
Natural
Hot
20.
was not able to. Seriously? You got a natural 20? Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's see here. Go ahead, chat. So those of you who are in the chat new from Corsair's Cove, you can type with an exclamation mark roll space 20, and you do the rolling for me instead of me doing the. I mean, I can still do it, but it's funner when you guys do it for me. You're rolling for hot.
And I assume this would distance us a little bit from the maze. As I would
It
take my
might.
time.
Oh no!
Make the DM
Yeah, okay.
succeed. Nice
Yeah,
one.
you made the DM succeed. I appreciate that. Okay, so if that's the case, that'll count. I'll take that. So with that, the wet, you notice as vines immediately come lashing in the corner of the hedge that you made, that you just come lashing out, kind of, and weaving out towards you guys, and lashes out. I need, well, if it's an automatic success, so I'm definitely hitting hot with this. But with your deck save of a 20, I'm not gonna get you. So let's see. Actually, no, I gotta roll it in here. I'm gonna roll it there. Let's go with
30 dice.
I need. No, not that much yet. But I am actually. Let's just do this here. There we go. So, Hot's gonna take 4 points of slashing damage as the vines come reaching out and got thorns that stick out from the vines and just kind of wrap around Hot's neck and arms and wrists. And despite the fact that this has conjured up images that you and Hot have experienced before, Wet, it's not been with living vines. It's usually been with ropes. So,
Bondage, you say?
but
He's wrapped
Hot
into
is now
vines
taken.
right?
He's wrapped up into vines now. Yep. What are you guys gonna do? Peleus and Vio, you guys see this as well as just being pulled up into a corner. He kind of looked around the corner and see Hot is now being gripped by vines.
I'm going to sacred flame them.
All right, roll your sacred flame.
Isn't that like a pillar of light coming down on both the veins? And,
Yeah, let's pull.
and
pull
Hot.
let's,
Not a very precise weapon, sacred flames.
let's
Do the
see.
dex save.
Dex save, hey. Okay. Well, what are my vines dex save? They are. Let's roll it this way here, because they do actually have a dex save, and it is.
I'm not wearing any sharp weapon, so I cannot help him.
No, but so now I need you to post for me the description for Sacred Flame if you don't mind.
I have done Windy.
No, I mean like the was the description there too? Oh yeah, there it is. I'm blind. Okay, we're good. Hey, descends on a creature. So this flame, these flames just kind of reached it. Well, it's hot though. That's getting this. So I'm not going to worry about that too much. But with your radiant damage, just kind of the vines seem to kind of burn and cinder, and the outer layer of it kind of peels back under the pressure as the vines kind of get pulled back. With how much damage? 6 damage? Yeah. You're able to pull the veins basically right off of Hot, and Hot comes out of it again.
I pull him out of the veins. That was a spiky kiss.
And Hot says, okay, grabs you and pulls you up against the hedge and does the same. Roll for me a dex save.
Who's rolling the dex? Is it me?
19.
Yeah, wet is. Yeah, no, success. The vines go for your ankles in particular this time, and you're able to kind of step out of them instead. Unless you want to actually let them.
Turn like a dance. It's almost like a dance where I just turn just before the vines, so I don't get reached.
Peleus and Vio, I need you guys to roll for me dex saves now too, please. And we're gonna get you, the chat to roll for
Oh, not too bad. I was expecting a -1 there.
Oh, you guys did okay.
Oh, Vio's it worse than I am.
We need to keep walking. The vines are trying to get us here.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a roll for Uck from the chat too. So, Once we have a roll for Ook, I'll resolve it for you. Go for it, chat. Let's see whether or not Ook can get out of this nonsense. Leolar. Oh, and they
17.
do. So as you turn to look to see what else you see over top of your heads, actually this massive net of vines kind of shooting out from the top of the hedges and start to descend down upon you and start to kind of shoot out towards each of you. You guys all kind of run out of the way in one direction, but the vines don't stop there. They keep on shooting, and you start to realize there's a lot here. And as the sky starts to be darkened and blackened out by the vines around you, and that's where we're going to pick up next week,
Nice.
as you're being hailed upon by vines. So with that, say thank you again to Corsair's Cove for the raid. We're gonna go see if we can find somebody else that we can raid in turn. And so currently running right now, it appears as though actually I could use some guidance on that because my usual channels are not running right now. So if you have somebody in mind that you think would be a great channel to raid today, I'm here for it. Let's find out.
There's not a lot of D&D going on, to be honest. Just a handful.
No, how
Winter's Tales.
interesting. Winter's Tales is still going for now. Winter's Tales is probably doing some world building because that's something that they usually do.
Eldorian Tales.
Eldorian Tales. Okay, let's go find somebody here. Just give me
But
one
it is
second.
Spanish, I think.
That's all right.
English. Hang on.
Let's see here. Let's go find
Yeah, that's-
somebody, folks. Let's see here. There's the Killer Bits, Eldorian Tales, and it is in English. They're playing in English today, so maybe that's the one that we're gonna go with today. So
I could get in
Here
a
we
lot of
go.
German channels.
indeed. All right, let's see what we got. Hang tight one moment here for me. Let's see here if I can get it going. It's not letting me do the things. All right, well, I am going to put this out there for you guys and say, while for whatever reason, my raids aren't working right now, so I'm going to have to just simply say, hey, guys, why don't you go check them out? I'll give you the shout out in the chat. Eldorian Tales is the group. And so that is, yeah, that's the one. So let's give them a quick little shout out, and then you guys can hit that link in the chat. In the meantime, also make some other mentions for you. So thank you again for joining us. We have another game tomorrow. It is with our Witchlight campaign that starts at 1 p.m. UTC. Tomorrow night, no, not tomorrow night, sorry. The next day that we play is going to be on Friday, and that is at 1 p.m. UTC as well. And, sorry.
Ekuya.
Hang on one second there. But yeah, there we go. So sorry, distractions. That's okay, we're good. So we have our game on Friday. That's our Olivon Chronicles campaign. A little bit of political intrigue happening there. And then finally at 8:30 p.m. UTC on Friday as well as the Adventures of Alain campaign. And they'll be back here for our last session by the sounds of things next week for the Roll for Wishes campaign. Huzzah! That is all of the things that are happening here on this channel. You can check out our schedule here on Twitch. You can also check out our Discord here as well. I'll share that well, actually, I think you can get to that link down in the About You section. Thank you guys very much for joining, and we will see y'all tomorrow for the Witchlight campaign. Peace out. Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.